Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you know, I've been working in inpatient psychiatry now for nearly 4 months, which has been a true joy and a true pleasure. And the reason why is because I have been able to experiment really in the clinical setting as much as I can as a registered nurse, because that affords me time to do nursing assessments, to form something like rapport. And I have concluded that there really are two ways to help individuals. And this is extremely basic. You don't have to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist to be a really good helper, okay? And I want to empower you because many people are suffering right now with loneliness, with despair, with anxiety, etc. And the solution, in many cases, to someone who has become so despairing that they want to kill themselves, that they want to commit suicide, is a therapeutic relationship, right? Now, when we think about this quality of relating, we have to unpack it, right? But I think on a very basic level, a good relationship is one that is positive, that is hopeful, okay? And as if you've been watching my videos, I have elucidated that it is the positive emotion that works to orient us towards the future. And it is the negative emotion that teaches us or primes us to think differently about the future, such that we might have positive emotions towards the future. As human beings, we are social and relational, and we are oriented towards the future. We are expecting, we are modeling the future. And we model the future based off of our ways of relating early in our lives primarily. So when I try to think about how we can be helpers, what I am really on a very basic level discovering and rediscovering and discovering and rediscovering is this deep spiritual truth about healing. And that is this: we heal others when we heal ourselves. Now, what does that mean? That means that we can provide hope for a positive future, hope for maybe forgiveness, maybe repentance, maybe genuine, good, rewarding relating, by having a positive relationship to our own selves and future and our relationships in our own lives. So what we need is we need to bring to our clients, to our patients, really to all of our human relationships, an attitude that is hopeful. We need to have great faith and great courage. When we offer hope and faith and courage to those who are hopeless, to our really cowards in the sense of being self-consumed, locked in on the self, they've lost really trust in their own ability to will what would be considered good in their lives, right? Then we have those problems arise, like suicidal ideation and possibly even suicide. So the solution to someone who is that depressed and that self-centered is a way of being, a way of relating that instills hope in that person's ability to have a future. And in many cases, people are suffering from traumas in their past. And when we think about trauma, we think about memories, okay? We have memories that have locked into our somatosensory sort of life, our body, that have become a part of our emotional patterns, right? On a deep, unconscious level. And even in those cases, what we need is someone who is hopeful and genuinely safe to remind us that we can feel safe through shared embodied activities as the precursor to something like higher cognitive representations and relating. So you can see we heal each other as human beings. That is the solution. There is no serotonin reuptake inhibitor. There is no norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor or dopamine reuptake inhibitor. There's no antipsychotic medication that will provide what I am referring to here. So this needs to be the cornerstone of our work. It is establishing a hopeful and positive relationship in our own lives, such that we can bring that to others and therefore heal. And how many of us today are living in an age where there's a lack of genuine faith, hope, and love? The modern world is a very, very messy world. People are living in a time that is materialistic and individualistic. Two factors that are essentially the antithesis of any genuine hope and faith and religious life, I would argue. So we need to know where we are culturally and what we're working with culturally. And we really have to bring something that is counterculture. That is love and hope and faith. A genuine pursuit of the truth. And then a belief in the goodness of what we are capable of as human beings. And this means we have to work through the darkness. We do have to acknowledge human nature, not as inherently good, but as desiring of the good, as made in what is good, and what is holy, and what is true, and what is like God. It's when we truly inculcate that within ourselves and we bring that to the other that we heal. It's really that simple. Granted, it's not simple, it's really hard, but that's the solution. When we're working with someone who is psychotic, as far as I can tell, I've had limited exposure in this respect, we need to be very, very connecting, right? In the case of someone who's suicidally depressed, we need to be hopeful and have good faith and bring them that loving faith. With psychosis, there is a separation of the self from other cells. The separation of the self from other cells. A complete and utter mistrust of the self. So what do we need? We need solid selves. And we need to bring that solid sense of self, that reaffirming sense of self, to really connect with that person. Because their sense of self is a place that is very scary, that doesn't really know what is real and what isn't real. So we have to bring that. I think those are the two factors that need to be taught and reaffirmed when working with people with mental illness. So if you think that this makes sense, let me know. The reason why I made this video is because, well, I know this is true. I know it's very basic, and I know there's so much that I can do in my own life, my own work that I need to do to provide that hope, to provide that sense of truly connecting. And I think we all have our responsibility, don't we? So I hope that you respond to yours. All right, take care. Bye-bye.